Hey, what's up guys? I'm gonna unbox and review the new Ring Pan Tilt Indoor Cam. So the base itself allows it to pan and tilt. This thing is supposed to be pretty much the same thing as the regular indoor cam, but it does pan and tilt. So let's open this up. So here's everything that comes inside the box. We have two anchors, two screws for those anchors. We have an additional screw for this USB-C holder. We have two different ways of mounting. I'll show you guys that momentarily. We have a sticker, some instructions, a USB-C cable, USB-A to USB-C. We have a power adapter, which is 100 to 240 volts. Output is 5 volts at 2 amps, so the power is 10 watts. And this is the camera right here. I am hiding the sticker right here, but this is what you need to scan during setup. And just like the indoor cam, you can physically cover this. As you guys could see, the lock and the unlock, and we can have it on the unlock mode as well. And it looks like this goes up and down, and it also swivels basically. And this is where the USB-C would plug in to power this thing. And so this is, I'm also hiding this information right here, but this is where the mounts are. So if you wanted to mount it to the wall, this is what you need to screw in to the wall. And once you screw this in, you have two options. So option one is, let's say if my hand was the wall, once you screwed this into the wall, you could actually attach the camera directly from here and snap it into place. Make sure you hear the click. Make sure it's secure. But this is basically, if my hand was the wall like this, the camera would be, you could move it up and down like this, and you have a decent number of play like this. Or once you attach this thing to the wall, you could attach this base to it right here, and this snaps in like that, and then this camera would snap in here and basically click in like so. And if again my hand was the wall, this is what it would look like, and so it could be like this, and then again you have all this play. So let's connect it and go from there. So I'm currently in live view, and I'm gonna do a pan, and then we'll do a tilt as well, just to show you guys how fast this thing moves and what the quality is like. It is 1080p. It's not uber crazy quality, but it is fairly good for a security camera. Most of the Ring cameras are 1080p, and the camera is typically fine. So now I'm going to take it up just so you guys get a sense of how far high up it goes, and then it will take it down. And the good thing is it is fairly responsive and moves fairly quickly. So this is actually pretty good. It's very, very smooth. And let's see what the settings are over here. Okay, so this is what it looks like from the side if I'm not on full screen. And obviously I could open up rotate anytime I need to. The Ring camera doesn't have local storage, so there is no micro SD card or some other memory card that goes in. The only way it records and saves footage is on the cloud, so you do need internet access and Wi-Fi. So I could connect to your Wi-Fi and go to the internet and basically store the footage there. However, that does require a subscription. Now, Ring offers 3 different plans as of this recording. That may change in the future, but basically they have a plan that's 1 Ring camera. They have a plan that's as many Ring cameras as you want at the same address. And then they have the Ring Pro plan, which is the Ring alarm, and in addition, as many Ring cameras as you have at the same address as the Ring alarm. So again, that could change, but that's essentially the only way it's going to store footage. Now, if you have a lot of Ring cameras, in my case, I have a decent number of Ring cameras, so I'm on their alarm plan, essentially. I also have the Ring alarm, so I'm on their plan, and I can get as many Ring cameras as I want at the same address, and it will all record and save footage up to 6 months. Again, that does require a subscription that I am paying for. So, do you need a subscription? No, you could just use a Ring camera just with live view. However, it will not record anything. So if something happens, then it's not going to have footage of that. Whereas if something does happen and a detected motion, it should have footage of that, assuming you had Wi-Fi and your internet, everything was good, up and running, then it should store that footage. But it also doesn't record 24/7. It only records when it detects motion. So that's also very important to note, that it's not something that's recording 24/7. it's on 24/7, assuming it's plugged in and you have it on, and it will only record during when it detects motion. All right, so let's talk about the app just a bit. You guys saw the rotate and everything like that, so we could close and go to settings. If you have the plan, if you have the separate subscription plan, you will see pretty much the events here on this timeline. You can also go to the Ring website, and you can also, if I do close live, I can also see stuff over here as well, and it does record audio as well. Okay, and then if I go to settings, we have motion detection, which basically means if it detects motion, it will record. If it doesn't, it won't. We have motion alerts, which basically means if it detects motion, it will alert you. Now, I personally have this off because I have a lot of Ring cameras, so I will constantly get bombarded with alerts. So I basically just have this off, and then they have motion warning. And then for mode settings, you could pretty much tie this. If you have a Ring alarm, you can tie it to do certain things, basically like record or not record if it's in a certain mode. You can do link devices. So if you have another Ring camera, it detects motion, this one can turn on and start recording even if it doesn't detect motion, and vice versa. They do want you to limit that to 2 or 3 cameras just for bandwidth sake. So if I have 20 cameras, they don't want all 20 cameras recording at the same time for bandwidth purposes. Alert snooze, link chimes, device health. Motion settings is the other one where you could basically say, what part of this do you want recorded? Which part of this should it detect motion in? That's a more accurate way of saying it. So let's say if I had a tree on the top left, and the tree is always moving, I don't want it to always record. I could have it to always record, again, if you do have a subscription plan for it. But if I don't want it to record, I could basically adjust this, and you could pretty much adjust. There's a decent number of ways you can adjust it that it will only detect motion in these blue zones. So you could do that. I basically have it set to record everything and anything that's within the camera's view. And then motion sensitivity, you could have it on max. Basically, the littlest movement that it can pick up, it will pick up. Doesn't mean if a fly is coming, it's going to see the fly and record it. But typically, anything like decently large enough, it usually detects and records. And then motion schedules, you could say like, oh, if I'm home during certain times, I can add a schedule for it to not detect motion and not record. So you could do that as well. And then for device settings, that's the other important one. If we go to video settings here, you can have color night vision or you can have infrared. And then you can have rotate video. And this is the one where it will actually, if you wanted to mount the camera to your ceiling upside down, you could say rotate video where it would still show normally. It would basically 180-degree the view. So you could see things normally even if it's mounted upside down. Now, it will try to record up to 120 seconds as long as it detects motion. That's what I currently have it set to. And it could do snapshots, so I currently have it set to take a snapshot once every 3 minutes. If it doesn't detect anything, it will actually just regularly take snapshots. Privacy settings, you have some privacy. If you want to deactivate the microphone, you can do that. In general settings, you could change the name, change the position and stuff. And you could set a home position. So it's going to calibrate right now when I do this. But basically what it does is while you're in live view and you're looking at something, so you're panning and tilting or whatever to see it, as soon as you get out of live view, it will go back to its default home position. The home position being something that you specifically set. And you can change the home position in the future if you wanted to. So there is that option as well. And yeah, so let's say if I go to live view and I do rotate, and let's just say I take it to the right, and then I'm here, I'm just looking at it, and then I click end live. As soon as I do end live, it will go back to the original position. So if I do live view again, it will be showing me on the couch. So yeah, it doesn't have human tracking, at least as of now. I don't know if that's something they're going to add in the future or not. I have no idea. But as of now, it doesn't have human tracking. So if I'm moving, it's not going to track me. And yeah, that's pretty much it. Overall, it's a pretty good camera. Don't expect bank level security. It's not a 4K camera, but it's a decent camera, 1080p, pans and tilts. And I've had Ring cameras for, not this one obviously, but I've had Ring cameras for, I don't know, I would say 4 to 5 years. And generally they've been pretty good. So I haven't really had any issues with just about any of the Ring cameras that I've had. So there it is. If you guys enjoyed this video, smash that subscribe button, and I'll catch you guys in the next one.